Dear Lord, what are we doing, Roger?
Well, we are talking one of the more obscure movies out there.
I have to give us credit, pat myself on the back,
Okay.
finding this old thing, Elves.
Elves.
It was it 1960s? This
No,
made?
1989.
59?
1989.
1989. It's free, available to anyone on YouTube. So you could watch it absolutely no cost to you. YouTube, pull it up. But you know, when you pull it up, it looks like somebody recorded it on their VCR from their TV that was playing a VHS tape. Because in parts of it, you can see like the tracking.
Tracking is messed up. Yeah, no, well, that's exactly what it is.
It's just like and then the movie was shot like purposely blurry, you know, nothing's sharp. It looks like...
Oh no, that's second generation VHS copies going on there. That's got nothing to do.
So you think at one time it was actually better?
Well, because this movie is only available on VHS, right?
Yeah, there's no DVD out there.
There's none. There's no Laserdisc even. There's no Blu-ray, no 4K restoration.
You're not going to find this on any streaming service.
So whoever that was that posted it on YouTube, they just had what he probably did was rent the VHS back in the day, copy it himself onto his own VHS.
Maybe it's that guy who posted
and then
it. Yeah.
posted it on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get tracking problems and all that, but the blurriness, that's just VHS, old school VHS blurriness there.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, this movie's old. Dan Haggerty from The Life and Times of Grizzly Adams, which was a TV show. This was his namesake. It lasted just a year, from 1977 to 1978, and yeah, he's a good guy. You know, he plays like this wannabe action hero. And this movie falls into the category, I've got to say, is like, it's just so bad. But there are parts of it that are endearing and that are just straight funny. And it's got this weird storyline.
That's the best part.
About the Nazis and this Fourth Reich and the eternal propagation of the master race. That it has enough interesting elements and funny elements just to keep you going. And I made up a list.
Oh, okay. Very good.
I made up a list of the things. Again, this movie's terrible. It's awful. It's the most corniest acting and action sequences, and this little elf thing is just like, what, are you kidding me?
The worst puppet ever.
Did my third grader make it? But anyway, the story has Nazis going for it. I'm right. Any movie with Nazis in it is kind of good. And there's an evil mom. This was kind of disturbing for me as a cat lover. An evil mom who drowns the family cat
right in the toilet.
In the toilet. At least, and then she buries it. At least gives it some respect.
Just to be evil, though, that was the great part.
Yeah, and there's a Santa, like a department store Santa, who meets his end because the little elf person stabs him in the crotch. There's horny young women in lingerie. There's a shootout involving these ex-Nazis and Dan Haggerty in a department store. Oh my gosh. And there's that same evil mom, she's killed by the elf in a bathtub.
Of course.
And you get the worthless little nudity there. She's in a bathtub, you know.
Well,
but she meets her end there.
That was Deanna Lund, if you remember her from
I don't remember.
Land of the Giants TV show.
You know, I remember that show, Land of the Giants. I remember as a little kid watching it. I don't really remember any scenes, but I remember that title. I remember watching it. Yeah, Land of the Giants. Yeah. But man, this movie is just...
Well, Gene, I think
also, I was going to say one more thing.
Oh,
is that I think if you're into drinking, because Dan Haggerty, for some reason, is just a chain smoker.
Yeah.
Like every other scene, he is lighting it up. So this would be like a great drinking game, I thought. It's like, get your buddies, get your people, put this movie on again for free. There's so many scenes you're just going to be laughing, and that's unintentional funny, you know, that kind of funny. Yeah, and then you just drink whenever Dan Haggerty lights up a cigarette. Well, there's none of you are going to make it. You're all get Ubers home.
But I love the fact that even a scene where he's going into like that library and the woman tells him that he can't smoke in there, he doesn't care.
He's addicted, Roger. He has to do it.
He's like, fine, yeah, okay, thanks for letting me know that. I'm still going to smoke. But you're missing one key element.
Oh, wait, what did I miss here? What did I miss?
Well, apparently there's some college you can go to where you can get your doctorate in Nazi elves.
I kind of missed that point.
Because at one point...
let's go to that college.
Yeah, at one point, Dan Haggerty is doing, I've got to get to the bottom of this, so I'm going to go to the library and do research.
Yeah.
And then that leads him to this one guy who knows about symbols, but then it goes down the road of Nazi elves, and he's like, oh, no, you got to talk to this other guy who knows all about Nazi elves. And it's like Dr. whoever who's done his big master's program or doctorate on Nazi elves for some reason.
Exactly. And this movie also has some weird family dynamics, some very weird family stuff going on here.
Well, in order to create the Aryan master race, you have to do it through inbreeding.
Exactly. Yeah, inbreeding. Yeah, doesn't that defeat the purpose, though? But I guess not. You know, the master race is through inbreeding.
I just love how this movie is just so insane with its story and its plot. It's just, like you said, endearing.
Yeah, I will never watch this movie ever again. So it's endearing in like a bad way. But did I regret watching this movie? Unfortunately not. Yeah. So would I recommend it to my friends? Well, maybe. So maybe.
Right.
Again, bring your buddies over, make fun of it. Like I said, a little drinking game. I don't know. There's lots of things to do with this movie, but I don't know. Put it on. Will you hate it? Yeah. Will you hate that you spent 90 minutes with it? Well, maybe not.
Right. I agree with Gene on this. It is a really bad film that I truly believe everyone should watch.
That's a good way to say it.
You know, I think horror film people, you know, and we see a lot of stuff. And when you run across something that is just so off the wall, so way out there, you enjoy that. It brings great joy. This movie brings great joy to me just because of the storyline and the plot line. And yes, she drowns the cat. Normally that's a really big problem for me. Not in this movie. It's like, you know.
I was a little shocked. The cat drowning, yeah.
And just Dan Haggerty is just hilarious in this because, of course, they set him up as just this really down and out character. Even he's being evicted from his trailer.
Yeah, his trailer. He can't afford any rent on his trailer.
You know. And so he's got to live in the department store.
Well, because he finds a job as a Santa. Because the previous Santa, got stabbed.
Right. Well, after doing lines of cocaine.
Yes. Well, after he got fired because he was feeling up the teen girls who sat on his lap. It's just like, where does this come from?
Right. This movie is so just crazy.
Like, yeah. I mean, when they made it, were they taking it seriously themselves or?
Oh, I'm certain, since we know that later on Dan Haggerty was arrested for, I believe, cocaine trafficking.
Are you serious?
I'm pretty certain this movie and the storyline and everything just lives on cocaine in here. Remember, it's 80s, so...
It's the 80s. Yes, Wall Street, all that. But Dan Haggerty's a great guy. Let's not impugn Dan Haggerty.
No, he's
a great guy. Well, he's passed away, but, his estate, we all love Dan Haggerty.
One of his early roles, do you know what it was in?
No.
Easy Rider.
No way.
Yes.
Are you serious?
So when they're in
Roger that, you know that.
When they're in the commune, he's one of the commune guys.
Dan Haggerty.
Yeah.
All right.
So
go Dan.
And he actually assisted in the building of the two big motorcycles from that movie.
Are you serious? The chopper?
Yeah.
The chopper that was inherently unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
That only the rear brake worked. Which, if you're a motorcycle rider, you would know that is like a death sentence.
Well, and the amazing thing is all those scenes in Easy Rider where they're like riding on the open road. I think they were only going about 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, because that motorcycle was would be dead. See, we're getting off topic here,
Right.
which you can with this movie. Yeah, but get your friends together. Definitely watch Elves.
Well,
yeah,
and I think
it's,
just
again,
talking,
YouTube streaming's
talking more
free.
about Dan Haggerty, he's got this. It's like, how did he become an actor? Well, the only way for him to become an actor was Grizzly Adams, really, because he is that character.
He is Grizzly Adams.
But he comes
yeah.
across as just this really, he's a big, huge guy. And he comes
Yeah,
across as this really soft-spoken, just Papa Bear kind of thing.
Yeah,
going
everything
on
he
there.
does is he's got an air of niceness. Like he breaks into this guy's house and it's like the owner of the department store, and he demands to know this information, but he says kind of gently, it'll only take a minute.
Right.
Don't call the cops because by the time they arrive, if you just tell me the answer, I'll be gone. He just kind of like weaves it in a way so it's good.
Well, and I also love the scene where the evil Nazis have planted a bomb in Dan Haggerty's car.
I know. And then he jumps
And
out
so
of it.
he looks at the bomb, and I don't know about how any of you would handle, I've got a bomb in my hand and I'm driving a car and my window is open. Most of us would probably just throw the bomb out the
window. No.
He leaves the bomb in the car and bails out of the
Yeah.
car as it's driving.
But one of my favorite lines is he does get physically aggressive, Dan Haggerty. He gets one of the Nazi guards on the ground and just punching him. And he's trying to get information, right? So he gives him a big roundhouse right to his face. And he says, how many teeth do you have? And he punches him again. Says, how many teeth do you have now? It's just great.
Yeah. So this movie is just, it's one of those, I'm going to call it a hidden gem, and it's really hidden. The
Super
only way to
hidden.
see it is you either own a copy of the
Which
VHS
you don't.
release, or you can watch it on YouTube on a third or fourth generation VHS rip. But it's definitely its own unique thing that horror film fans, we always look for weird, unique movies that we haven't seen before. You haven't seen this before.
I want to know the connection between the elves and the Nazis.
There are two schools of thought.
What are they?
One, the Nazis experimented with elves as assassination teams. Small, easily hidden, silent, vicious. They have magical powers. They can't be hurt or killed. They eat anything. They're a perfect soldier. The problem is, there's no such thing.
What else is there? Tell me some more.
Theory 2. The elves were a genetic engineering experiment. Now, I like this one better. It mixes science and the occult. The Nazis did have some clever scientists. This was before today's technology, of course. Each elf was to house the haploid gene structure in its sperm cells to produce the master race. Once again, magical powers can't be hurt or killed. Driven to select the genetically perfect human mate, the proverbial virgin, of course, holy midnight consummation on Christmas Eve.
Wait a minute. Tonight, you mean...
The elf mates with the virgin on Christmas Eve to produce the master race.
Anything more to talk about?
No,
with Elf?
there's nothing more to say. We've
Well,
said
and
it
I
all.
will
I
say-
even wrote down some notes, but I'm throw them over
Well,
there.
and I will say it's called Elves.
There's only one. There's a one. This is elves, plural. There's
Right.
There's
Just the one. And he has a real tough time moving or showing any sort of emotion at all.
It's just this rubber thing. Yeah, because every time he's on camera, it's the same mask.
Right.
Nothing's
Well, and I
changed.
love how he's trying to open the door and it's just like this. It's totally a mobile thing. It's just
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
So anyway, if you've got nothing better to do with your Saturday or Sunday or any day of the week and you're like, I got to do something.
Or it's one of those movies where,
Elves.
it's 1:00 in the morning. You can't get to sleep. You ate too much or whatever. You just can't sleep. Yeah. Elves is the movie
Yeah.
for you.
So, Gene, what are we doing next week?
Roger, if you can make it to a movie theater, my gosh.
We got to do Nosferatu.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it's opening Christmas Day. My kid wants to see it. My 17-year-old kid wants to
Have
see
you
it.
tried to go to the theater on Christmas Day before?
No,
It's
but Roger,
it's a madhouse.
It's 2025. Well, almost. You pre-buy your tickets. I mean, come on. I could probably pre-buy the tickets today. You got your
Right.
seats. You can even pre-buy your popcorn and your soda. You get there,
Mm.
and it's just they're waiting for you. You don't even have to
All right.
stand in line.
Well, we'll see what
Which I've done
happens
that
next
before.
week. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, why don't we reserve a seat for you and you just come with
No,
us?
I just come with you guys. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. But
Yeah.
Something definitely will happen next
Nah,
week.
that's where Nosferatu. Yeah, that's where we're watching.
Well, and I think isn't this thing like 2+ hours long? Too?
Oh my lord!
You know?
Yes, I know the ideal runtime on a movie is, because you want to just get to the point and get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I think
it's okay.
I
to
think
have
the
a little bit
original
longer.
I think is like 93 minutes, which is the silent version, and then I think the Werner Herzog one is like 107 minutes. But I heard this one was well into the 2 hours.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Whatever.
that's just me being a.
Substance was over 2 hours, and that was okay.
That one moved pretty good. Yeah, I could have done some editing down though. But
No, don't. You can't cut out the ending. You can't.
No,
cut
you're
out
not cutting the
on that.
ending
No
out
way.
of that one.
No
But
way.
it's how many more times do I need to do the back and forth between Demi Moore and whoever the other person was? I didn't necessarily need to have that many in that.
Oh.
We got the point, right? Anyway, we're once again off topic of everything. Check out Elves. We will
Elves.
catch you
But
next
there's
week.
just one elf.
Bye bye.
See ya.